They won the toss, and they will be receiving as Kyle Rohde set to put a foot into it. Standing deep, it looks like Mullenbrook and number 22, Phil Kenny. Rohde with the ball on the near hash, waiting the official signal. Did you know this crew, Jason? You thought you did.
No, that sophomore crew just did the sophomore game. Usually they'll bring in an outside crew. They won't have an Iowa City crew do a city game. So they'll be from Cedar Falls or the Davenport Association.
Rohde gets the whistle. Hand comes down, approaches the football. A low squib kick up the near side. It will be picked up by Kenny at the 10. Getting behind the wall, the 15, the 20. Breaks it out, takes a huge shot as he crosses the 20-yard line. Dropped at the 22. Number 34, Drew Rose, the starting fullback, came up and laid the wood to him, and that is where City High will start the first offensive series of the evening.
Well, if that kickoff is any indication of the type of game we're going to have tonight, it's going to be very, very hard hitting. There was 2 or 3 bodies flying around, and I heard a pop clear up here. So Cedar Falls came ready to play.
Ryan Kennedy will bring him up out of the I formation. Strong side will be to the right. Twins to the far side. The pitch will go to Kenny. He'll try and work it away around the far end. Scampers past one man. Dances down to the 25, and that's where he'll be brought down. Short gain on the play. Roughly about 3 yards. It'll bring up second down, and we'll call it about 7.
Well, that's some of the action they ran last Friday against Kennedy. They ran that sweep to Kenny quite a few times, and they're setting up some sort of counter or some sort of bootleg off of that. And you know that you set that up throughout the game, and then when you need the big play, you can run something off of that.
Tell you what, they did not get the spot that I thought they were going to there. Give them a gain of about a short 2, as on second down, Kennedy drops back to pass, fires in the flat, a little bit farther out, running a crossing route. Rocca looks like the intended receiver, but just a little bit off his fingertips. Incomplete, and the clock will stop.
Just a little bit of juice on that ball there, Brent. You know, when you first come out the first series, quarterback, everybody's a little excited and juiced up, and just a little bit too much on that ball.
Well, we saw this last week against Cedar Rapids.
Yeah,
Kennedy came out and was just a little.
They got to settle down a little, sure.
Settled into a rhythm and then just tore up the Cougars. As on 3rd and 9, Cedar Falls blitzing. He sidesteps it, fires out. It's complete to Sabers at the 39. He's dropped there immediately by the corner, Nick Nelson. But not before City High moves the chains. First down on a big 3rd down and 9 completion.
Well, City High coaches saw something on that previous play, and what they did there, they pretty much ran the same pattern that they ran before with Sabers, but that time Sabers kind of sat down in the zone right there in the opening, and Kennedy did one heck of a job to avoid that blitz and put the ball right in the money. He's got a rope out there. He can throw that ball.
First down and 10. Ball sits at their own 39. Handoff will come to the up back. That's the fullback. It appears to be Tyson Worth, number 42. And not much there as he crosses the line of scrimmage. Stop made by Taylor Lips, the middle linebacker. Short gain on the play, though. They'll give him 6, make it 2nd down and 4. Actually, we'll make it 4 as the official here marking it down. We'll go with Stephen Grace tonight. Make it 6, although they've, 4 yards on it. 2nd down and 4. Kennedy dropping back to pass. Fires out into the flat. Incomplete. Looked like he was going for Sabers. The pass just off of his fingertips.
Well, Cedar Falls that time didn't put on the blitz. They only rushed they rushed 4 down linemen, and they dropped the other 7 off into coverage. And great protection up front, but just very, very good coverage in the back, and nowhere really to throw that football.
So 2nd, 3rd down of the first series for the Little Hawks. Clock stopped at 10:14, just underway. No score between City High and Cedar Falls. Out of the I formation. Sabers in motion to the far side. The handoff will go to Kenny, right side. Scampers across the 45, down to the 46, 47, and it appears he'll be just shy of the first down.
Going to give him about a 4th and 1 here, maybe.
Todd Hofert with the stop.
And here comes the punting team. Nice little play there. They ran Sabers in motion across the backfield and basically ran what we would call a 25 or an ISO there. Sabers kicked out the defensive end, fullback led, and picked up there 4 or 5 yards, just not quite enough for the first down.
Kyle Dukeman back to receive as DP Iman set to put a foot into it. Very high. And not a bad punt at all. Coming up the field at his 20. Dukeman heads to the far sideline, takes a shot. Scott Knight was there, and so was number 14, Joel Rocca, to wrap him up. Rocca hit him low, tied up the ankles, and then Knight came in and just lowered the shoulder.
That was a really nice job by Rocca there. He had him split out here to the right side, and he's what you call an arrow, and his job is not to worry about blocking at all. He splits out, and his job is just to go down and make the play. He did a nice job initially off the line of scrimmage of swimming his guy or getting around his guy and getting down the field and making the play. And this is big in the battle of field position right now as well. Cedar Falls having to go quite a ways here to get a score.
Only about a couple yards on the return, make it 1st and 10 from their own 23-yard line as Nick Nelson will bring them out for the first offensive series. Handoff goes to A.J. Manfull, trying to get something off of left guard, and not much, if anything, as he falls down maybe a yard beyond the line of scrimmage. Nick Mullenbrook and Greg Altmaier, we'll talk about those linebackers all night long, Jason. Nose to the football.
Yeah, they did a nice job there, but the person that really helped make that play was Zach Buxton right there. Little counter play by Cedar Falls. He stepped on and took on the kicking out tackle there and forced that ball back inside.
No gain on the play, make it 2nd and 10. Manfull will try the right side. He's hitting the backfield, spins off one man, works his way out close to the 25. Looks like he'll be just shy, maybe a couple yards on the play. And again, City High doing a good job of blowing off the line.
Yeah, really nice job there. They ran the same counter play just back to the opposite side, and that time Sabres got in the backfield and just made, anytime you're running that counter, what you want to try and do is disrupt the pulling guard or pulling tackle, make them go a little bit deeper than maybe they should. And he did a nice job there of getting up the field, getting in the way of the tailback, and really stuffing up that play.
Gain of 1 on the play brings up 3rd down and 9. Dukeman wide to the far side. Taking a straight drop, firing out that way. Dukeman dives. Does he haul it in? He does at the 45-yard line. Nelson didn't look off anybody else, fired a bullet about 15 yards up the field, and Dukeman laid out on the sideline to make a nice catch.
That's a big play for Cedar Falls. City had him pinned back there with the 3rd and 9 and keeps the drive alive.
First down of the evening for the Tigers from their own 35-yard line. Handoff will go to Manfull. Oh, wow. Hit in the backfield. Nice job by number 53, Adam Collins. Defensive end looked like he almost came in untouched and drops him for a loss.
Well, I had a hard time looking at it there. I don't know if he was on a stunt or a twist there or something like that, but one heck of a play. Maybe they had a slant call on or something like that, but looked pretty quick on that play. He was in the backfield before that back even had the ball in his hands. He is. He's lining up inside and taking a gap.
Loss of 4 on the play makes it 2nd down and 14. 2-step drop. This one batted down at the line of scrimmage. Nelson looked like he was trying to go to Dukeman running a seam route. Looks like Josh Keppel. Young sophomore, 6'1", 205 pounds. Nice job of getting a big paw up there and swatting the football away.
It's either Keppel or Sabres, one of the two, but on a 3-step drop, that's exactly what you want to do. You're not going to have much of a chance of getting to the quarterback and getting a sack. So if you see that 3-step drop and him setting up, you might want to lay back and get your hand up, and that's exactly what he did.
3rd and 14 from their own 33. Twins to the near side. Nelson will survey the defense. On play action, they hand off to Dukeman on a reverse, and he's hit in the backfield. Rocca forced him to reverse his field, and then Michael Sabres was there to wrap him up and drop him all the way back to the 26-yard line.
Well, City came with a cornerback blitz. Say that 10 times fast there. And the good thing that Rocca did, whenever you're trailing the ball, you always want to stay on the running back's backside hip, and he did a really nice job of that. So when the reverse came, he had it covered.
Rose to put a foot into it, a left-footed kicker. Is this one a sidewinder? Almost hit Scott Knight, as now they'll back away from it, both Mullenbrook and Rocca, as this one will roll inside the 45, down to about the 42-yard line. And City very nearly had a disaster there. Knight had his back to the ball as he was back trying to go ahead and lay the pads on somebody, and it just missed his foot.
And that's when as the punt returner, you need to be running up there screaming at your downfield blockers to get out of the way, and that's just really a communication issue right there. You can't blame Scott Knight for that. He's out there trying to make a block. the punt returner has to be up there in his face telling him, get away from the football.
Grenko, and it looks like Rocca wide to the near side. 1st and 10 from their own 42. Kennedy, a deep drop, a drop play to Kenny. He's got a lot of room. The 45 out towards midfield, just shy of the 50-yard line, and a pretty healthy gain on 1st down of about 7 or 8.
Well, and what that does, that keeps the linebackers honest, Brent. Doesn't let them just fly out of there and pass coverage. You throw a few of those plays in there and keeps those linebackers honest, and hopefully open up the passing lanes later on.
They'll mark it off as a 7-yard gain as we've hit the 6:45 mark here in the 1st quarter. Still no score. Both teams with one offensive series in the 1st quarter. No score. City on their 2nd with good field position. 2nd and 3 from their own 49. Kennedy dropping back, fires out in the flat, complete to Kenny. Across midfield, the 45, stiff arms one man. Tap dances down the near sideline, pushed out of bounds at the 40. A gain of about 11 on the play, and it will be another City High 1st down.
Yeah, I don't know if Kennedy checked down to Kenny out of the backfield or if that was a called play. They had twins to this side, and basically the twins just ran straight down the field and ran off the cornerback and the safety. And Kenny was wide open and had a lot of yardage ahead of him. Now they're coming out here with a trip set with Kenny lined up. This is something different.
Short side of the field on 1st and 10 as Kennedy will take off. It looked like a quarterback draw as he works his way inside the 40. He slips down to about the 38, a gain of a couple on the play. Brett Denny, the defensive end, actually tracks him down from behind.
What you're trying to do there, and I think you're right, I think that was a called draw because it didn't look like the receivers were running very hard routes over here, but what you're trying to do is pull that defense clear over here to the short side of the field and then run the draw back the other way. And I'm not sure Cedar Falls actually shifted over as far as maybe they thought they would.
2nd down and 9 as we're under 6 minutes here in the 1st quarter. Twins to the far side. They'll send Sabres in motion to the near. A fake pitch, and Kennedy again turns upfield right off of left guard. And again, a jersey tackle stops him out only after about a couple yards. Big number 77, Chris Hemmon, there to put the wraps on him.
Well, they're just trying to run a little misdirection there off of that play they ran earlier where they bring Sabres across in motion. He's supposed to kick out that defensive end, and this time they just fake that pitch, and he tries to turn and run back upfield, and Cedar Falls did a really nice job of sniffing that out and didn't bite on it.
Very disciplined on the last 2 plays, both misdirection. Yeah. They're reading their keys well. 3rd and 7 from the 37. Kennedy with a straight drop, getting some pressure, steps up, fires, and just in and out of the hands. I believe that's Phil Kenny out of the backfield. He had it at the 25-yard line. Looked like he turned maybe just a fraction of a second upfield and just couldn't quite hang on. And he pounds the turf as he knows he should have had one. Right on the money, though, from Ryan Kennedy.
Yeah, you know, City High's had pretty good field position there, Brent, to start that drive. But so far the game, they're winning that battle. If they can get Cedar Falls pinned in down here, make them go 70 or 80 yards and try and win that battle of field position. If it's going to be a grinded out game tonight, that's going to be real important.
Dukeman standing at his own 10 to return. Iman, a high end over end kick. Dukeman calls for a fair catch. This one will bounce inside the 5 and cross the goal line. It will be a touchback. Nice play by Dukeman too, actually drifting over to the near side, signaling for fair catch, bluffing to try and draw the defense.
Yeah, and on that situation, that's one where if the Cedar Falls, if Dukeman's coming up and making a fair catch signal like that, just ignore him and almost get behind him and get your head up and try and find the ball, because most of the time in that situation they're trying to decoy.
So on the touchback, 1st and 10 from their own 20. Roughly the same spot where they started their first offensive series. That was 23. 6 plays later, Cedar Falls had to punt. We'll see what they can do here. Nelson fumbles the snap. We've got our first turnover as City's on it.
That's big.
Zach Buxton, number 40, from the outside linebacker spot, was right there the minute it hit the turf, and the City High Little Hawks, with a huge break, will take over inside the Tiger 20 at the 16.
You know, close games like this with big-time teams, you know, the story is field position and turnovers, and that's the first mistake tonight. Now, City needs to go down here and capitalize on this.
See what they can do here. They're already in field goal range of Alex Fisher, and a hard count by Kennedy draws some movement in the defensive line for Cedar Falls. Big number 77. Chris Hemmon just a little too anxious, and that'll be a free 5.
Well, that's really big too for City, because now down here in the red zone, that really opens up the playbook, I think, just a little bit more, because now you've got a 1st and 5 and instead of a 1st and 10, and maybe you can gamble just a little bit more than you would have otherwise. And they still have, 5 yards here, and they got another 1st down.
1st and 5 from the Tiger 11 out of the I formation. Kennedy will hand off to Kenny, working the left side, hitting the backfield, spins out of the pads of one man, but wrapped up as they do a nice job of stringing him out. Number 98, number 52, Taylor Lips, and Sam Peterson.
Well, Taylor Lips there, that was just a super play from the linebacker position. I don't know if he was on a called blitz. I think he just read the pop out coming at him, stepped up on the hole, took on the fullback, and just made a great play right there. And, that's going to be a tough play to run if he's playing like that all night.
That was a collision.
He played that very, very well.
No gain on the play, make it 2nd and 10. They'll try Kenny off the right guard. Cuts it back up against the grain inside the 10 and down close to the 5.
That's the play they ran on the first series, Brent, with Sabres coming over and kicking out that defensive end. And he made 5 or 6 yards on that when he ran it the first time. And you know what? I'd keep coming back to that here a couple more times till they stop that play here on a 3rd and 1.
We have the luxury this evening of an in-studio monitor, courtesy of the Dane Man and the rest of the video crew here at City High. Just shy, and I mean just. How many links in the chain would you say there?
Not very many.
Well said.
I wasn't counting.
Stephen Gray says 3.
Oh, does he?
He was watching.
He's wrong.
So make it 3rd and less than a yard from the 6-yard line of Cedar Falls. City High looking to keep the drive going. Just one back. Kennedy will keep it, trying to go up behind his big center, Nate Mueller. We'll wait and see where his forward progress was stopped. This one looks like it'll be close.
Now they stop the clock. When they stop the clock, it's usually a 1st down, and it looks like they just gave it to him.
Go ahead and give him credit of a gain of 1. You can't give him credit for any less. So 1st and now goal from the Cedar Falls 6.
I might try that little kick-out play with Sabres again and get the ball up there to Kinney and see if you can pick up 3, 4, 5 yards here and put yourself in a position where you can do a few more things with down on the 1 or 2 yard line, maybe some play-action pass or something along those lines.
We have a player substitution, Taylor Lips, and Nate Rogers now checking in for Nick Andre, who limped off the field for Cedar Falls. On 1st and goal out of the I formation, on the option near side, the pitch comes back to Kinney. Inside the 5, dives for the pylon, touchdown!
There we go. That's a heck of a call right there.
And give Kennedy credit. He held on, knew he was going to take a shot, but got the defense to bite, and still as contact was being made, laid a perfect pitch right into Kenny's numbers.
That was a great play call right down there. Cedar Falls came out in basically a goal line defense. They had 8, 9, 10 guys right up there in the line of scrimmage, and as soon as they came out in that, your first thought is work the corners a little bit, and they did a nice job calling the option. Kennedy did a really nice job of drawing the defensive end before he pitched that.
Fisher on to attempt the extra point. This is good. And at the 3:13 mark in the 1st quarter, City High draws first blood, courtesy of a big fumble recovery by Zach Buxton at the Cedar Falls 16. We'll take a 30-second timeout, 30-second break. 3:13 left to go in the 1st quarter. Brent Balbinot standing alongside former Hawkeye Jason Dumont, our statistician Stephen Grace this evening. Back at the KXIC studios, we've got Courtney Nash and Ryan Bombach. They'll get you caught up to date on some area scores here in a few more minutes. Our score right now, City High 7, number 5 and unbeaten Cedar Falls nothing. As Fisher kicks off to Dukeman, he'll field it at the 5, out past the 10, the 15, the 20, and corral just shy of the 25-yard line. Looks like Scott Knight there to grab some jersey and yank him out of bounds. This will be the 3rd offensive series for the Tigers. Their last one, though, ending in disaster. Just one play. Quarterback Nick Nelson fumbled the snap. Zach Buxton fell on it. And 5 plays later, City High had the first score of the ball game. 1st and 10 from their own 24. Jason, we'll see what the Tigers are made out of here.
Yeah, you know, turnovers only help if you capitalize on them, and that's City did a really nice job there getting that initial offsides and getting down there and getting a score.
Nelson, a quick handoff goes to the fullback Rose, who's hitting the backfield, spins out of the tackle of one man, but Fisher is there to wrap him up and drop him. Another man also getting off the bottom of that pile, looks like number 50, Cody Claybaugh. Boy, they just do such a great job of blowing you back on your feet in the trenches.
Yeah, it looked to me like Cody there just did a really nice job of, you know, I'm having a hard time seeing because they're right in front of us, but they're running some twists or just some slants or something, but they're getting excellent penetration on this Cedar Falls line right now, and that makes it very, very difficult to run the football.
2nd and 10, no gain on that play. A one-back backfield. The handoff will go to Manfull off of right guard. Scampers out past the 25 to the 26 and then is hit by a sea of red and silver. Greg Altmaier, our player profile, leading the charge. About as well-spoken a young man as I've ever had the opportunity to interview, Jason.
Well, that was about as well of a tackle as I've ever had the opportunity to see, because that's just how you coach it. Get in there, put your shoulder pad under their chin, and pick them up and slam them down, and that's exactly, that one will catch a highlight film.
3rd and 6, you'd think a passing situation here. Dukeman wide to the far side. As on play action, Nelson rolling out, fires deep downfield, off of Dukeman's fingertips. It was a little high. He went up, tried to make the acrobatic one-handed catch at about the 35-yard line, could not haul it in. Jason, here we go again, 3 and out for Cedar Falls.
Well, City High defense, at least so far tonight, has really stepped it up. And I think the key is they've been very active in the trenches. They've been, to me, I don't know if it's so much overpowering. They're looking quicker. They're looking like they're quicker than Cedar Falls right now, and they're beating them to the punch and getting that penetration.
Drew Rose. Oh, pardon me. Go ahead.
I'm just making stuff up here.
No problem. We'll give you plenty of time to do that. The left-footed punter, a high but very short kick. Coming up and fielding it is Rock up the far sideline as he came flying up. He was well past midfield, out to about the 44-yard line. And again, City High will have excellent field position to take over on their 4th offensive series.
That took some guts there on Rocca to step up there and catch that ball. And I think the Cedar Falls kids, they basically outran the punt and kind of lost sight of it. And he stepped up and picked up an extra 7, 8, 9 yards there for City. And they've had excellent field position here so far tonight. Other than that first drive, they've started in very, very good territory.
Should I stand corrected? It's the Cedar Falls 39 is on a jailbreak screen. Grenko comes up and cannot handle the football. Kennedy was backpedaling.
That was a touchdown.
Yep.
Let me tell you, that was a touchdown. When the coaches look at that play on film, they are going to see all the blocks perfect. And if they could have come up with that, that was gone. They will come back to that play later in the game.
Just a little high.
That was,
I tell you what,
gone.
If it's too high for Ryan Grenko, it's too high for anybody in a City High uniform. He has ups. 2nd down and 10. Kennedy with a straight drop. Looks like they're running it again. Another screen. This one's tipped and it's intercepted. Kennedy wraps up the defensive lineman that hauls it down. Number 79, Brent Denny, leapt up, knocked it in straight up in the air, and then hauled it in. They tried to run it to the other side of the field this time, Jason, and just a great defensive play.
Yeah, that was a little bit different play. They were trying to swing it out there to the tailback and more of a dump pass or screen pass there. But one heck of a play by the defensive lineman there to get his big paw up in there and come down with that. And now this is, you know, Cedar Falls needs to turn the momentum a little bit to try and get back in this, and they're going to start out with pretty good field position.
From the City 47-yard line, new life for Cedar Falls. Handoff will go to Manfull, left side, not much there. Looks like Claybaugh there to meet him in the backfield. Wrap him up as a couple other players come up and help out.
You know, Cedar Falls just is not getting good pads on the City High defensive line right now. They're just out-quicking them to the gaps and doing a nice job of disrupting up front.
Being a 1 on the play. Actually, we'll make it a couple as it's at the 45. 2nd down and 8. Nelson with a long count. Play action. No, he will hand it off to Manfull off the right side, inside the 45, down towards the 40, and maybe just a little bit more as Altmaier is there to finally wrap him up. Pretty decent hole that time, and again, can see what Manful can do once he gets into the open field. He just hasn't been able to really get past the line of scrimmage without much contact.
It looks like he's got quite a bit of speed out there on the corner, and he had a nice hole to run through, and that's really the first one he's had to run through all night tonight.
25 seconds and counting. This will be the final play of the first quarter, barring a penalty after a gain of 5. It will be 3rd down and 3 from the City High 39. On play action, Nelson firing out in the flat. It's complete to the fullback Rose. Dodges one man inside the 30, lowers the shoulder, and driven out of bounds at about the 26. With 10 and 7/10 seconds left to go in the first quarter, Phil Kenny there to push him out over the end line.
It's a big 3rd down conversion there for Cedar Falls to keep this drive alive. You know, they got the big turnover with pretty good field position, and I'm sure they want to go down and try and capitalize on that interception like City capitalized on their fumble.
1st and 10. Clock continues to run now. Snap is underway. Handoff will go to the backup tailback. This is Darnell Karsten trying to work his way over the right side as he's met with much resistance. Not a whole lot, if anything, and the clock ticks down to 0. We have played through the first 12 minutes of this ball game. City High 7. Number 5 and unbeaten Cedar Falls, nothing. We'll take Good offensive move that time by the Cedar Falls quarterback to avoid a huge loss.
Yeah, Sabres just need to take a little bit better angle there. It looks like Sabres playing defensive end tonight, actually. They've got him over here playing left end. They don't have him down inside.
Gain of 2 down to the 25-yard line. Let's take a look at that line for City High right now. Claybaugh.
Now they moved him down
66
inside.
is Keppel. Yep, he's inside now to tackle. Collins on the other end. It looks like they'll pinch. Is that Buxton, the linebacker, up almost as if he's going to blitz here, pinching in. As on play action on 3rd and 8, Nelson rolls out far side. Nobody open. He'll scramble. Takes a huge shot as he crosses the sideline, comes up and just claps his hands together. Scott Knight, the free safety, coming up in run support and blew him a kiss.
Scott does a nice job flying around out there at free safety, and you know, that play initially when it started looked like they had some room out there, but Scott did a really, really nice job of closing the gap and coming up and making a good play. And here we are in 4th down, and they're going to go for it.
Gain of about 5 on the play. It's 4th and 3 from the 20. Now here's where you're City. You've got to be careful. Don't jump.
Yeah, they might just come up and try and draw them off sides.
Twins to the near side. Nelson will roll out near side. It's a quarterback keeper up inside the 20. The 15 dives forward down to the 13-yard line, and that will move the chains for Cedar Falls.
Nelson made a really good play there. It looked to me like there was well, the fullback made one heck of a block up there and looked like a chop block. I'm not sure if that was within the tackles where you can do that, but I guess it was close enough they let that one go.
Tell you what, that's confidence in your quarterback to get you the yardage you need.
Yeah,
Design
get
play.
It in your athlete's hand and let him make a play.
1st and 10 from the 14-yard line. Nelson will hand off to Manful, right side. Line of scrimmage plus maybe 1 before he's dropped in a sea of red and silver. Buxton is there. Sabres is there. Looks like Keppel there, also Greg Altmaier. Boy, they just fly to the football so well.
They do. They really do. They fill the lanes very well, and they fly to the football. You know, I think the key is just take a little bit better angles on the quarterback, Nelson. It looks like they're going to try and get him involved in working on the corner or the outside corners of the football field. So you just got to take a little bit better angle on that.
Trent Payne, a wide receiver in, lining up in the far side. Dukeman, the man you've always got to keep an eye on, wide to the near side. Delayed draw, the handoff goes to Karsten, the reserve tailback, and he works his way down to the 10 before he's thrown back and bent in half. Gain of about a short 4 on the play. Zach Buxton, the linebacker there, to make contact.
Well, Cedar Falls is pulling their tackle and their guard an awful lot. I'd say probably 40% of the run plays tonight they're pulling them. And so far the City defensive ends have done a pretty decent job of squeezing down the line of scrimmage, keeping their shoulders square and trying to force that ball back inside. And if they can do that consistently, that's going to limit the yardage that they're going to get on that play.
3rd down and 7 from the City High 10. Nelson dropping back, getting pressured, fires into the flat, incomplete. Number 82, Scott Knight, coming on a safety blitz. And Nelson did not have the time he wanted to set up and very nearly forced that pass. It was low. He was trying to get it to his flanker, Nate Stricker, but that will bring up 4th down.
Well, and that's what Cedar Falls is doing now. They're trying to get Nelson out of that pocket, get him sprinting out there. And good play call there, bringing the free safety blitz, trying to keep him contained, and he never had time to set up and throw the football.
Michael Hanisch will attempt, what do we got here, about a 27-yard field goal as the kick is up. Plenty of leg on it, and deep into the Iowa City night. Well, it's not 7, but it is something, as at 9:21 left to go here in the 2nd quarter. The number 5 team in the state in Class 4A is on the board.
Bring it, and then they've got a free safety and Scott Knight coming up, and he's putting some hits on.
Long kicker. Kyle Rohde set to put a foot into it, number 84. High, somewhat deep kick coming up and fielding it. This looks like Kenny at the 10, the 15, the 20,
look out,
25. He's got some seams. He works his way out, bounces off one man, still on his feet, reverses it to the near side, the 30, the 40, across midfield. One man left to beat. He's dropped at the Cedar Falls 40-yard line. Josh Webb, the only thing standing between him and 6. What a great job, though. You just saw both facets of Kenny right there, the toughness to break a couple of tackles, bounce off another, and then the speed as he kicked in the jets once he hit the open field.
Yeah, and what sprung that play is very, very good blocking up front initially. He had a really nice hole to run through, and then he did a really nice job of cutting back against the grain, getting to the outside and picking up another 20 or 30 yards on his own.
51 yards on the return, 1st and 10 from the Cedar Falls 41. On the option, looked like a glorified ISO there as Kennedy coming around right side. Was that a busted play or was that designed?
No, they ran that last week too. That's just a
quarterback follow.
Yeah, you're going out there, you're showing option, and you're just going to hog up right behind your fullback there and try and pick up some yardage, and picks up 3 yards.
Stephen Gray says 4 and the board says 2. I'm halfway tempted to go right down the middle with you.
Stephen now agrees with me.
As well he should, right? Pitch will go to Kenny. This one outside. Looks like they're bringing up the corners. He stiff arms one man, but rushed out of bounds. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage on the far sideline. Todd Holford, pretty good speed. Those City High linebackers not the only ones that can cover the field.
Yeah, right from the snap there, Cedar Falls had that one snuffed out. They filled really, really well there and made a nice play over there in the sideline. Cedar Falls got some obviously very, very good athletes, very experienced ball players, and sniffed that one out right from the get-go.
Short 1 on the play brings up 3rd and 7 from the Tigers 38. A few more yards here. Get inside Alex Fisher field goal range. Better yet, keep the drive going. Trips to the near side. Rocca Sturgill as a corner blitz coming. Kennedy gets the ball away. It's picked off. It's Dukeman down the near sideline. The 40, the 30, the 20. Nobody will get to him all the way to the house. Touchdown Tigers. Kennedy tried to get the football away as the blitz was coming. He threw it up for grabs. Dukeman stepped right in front of the intended receiver and then went the distance. 65 yards on the play.
Yeah, that's one that on films, I'm sure Ryan's going to want to have that one back. But what really forced the issue there is Cedar Falls brought a blitz, got good pressure on him, and rather than just eating it there, was trying to make a play. And that's one where, as a coach now, you go down and talk to him and say, hey, as soon as that thing was picked off, you need to forget about it. There's a lot of ball game left. Now come back out here and let's get it back. Because they're going to get the ball right back here, and they need to march down there and try and get a score.
Hanisch on to attempt the extra point. Kick is up, and just like that, the number 5 team in the state in Class 4A has jumped on top of the scoreboard, 10-7, with 8:14 left to go here in the first half.
Regina at the half is ahead 34-0. Eldon, again, that's 34-0. Regina at halftime. Solon in the second quarter, 20-0 over Cascade. That's at Solon. And in the second quarter, Clear Creek Amana 6, Mid-Prairie 0.
Whoa.
Those are the scores we have right now. We'll get you updated on more of those at halftime. But back to City High at Balmain.
Thank you very much, Ryan Bombach. Phil Kenny on the kickoff return for City High. Works his way behind his wedge out past the 25. Ball will be spotted at the, set it down there, sir. Looks like the 26. And that is where City will take over. Trailing, though, for the first time this evening after just giving up the interception return for a touchdown. 10-7. Jason, you just mentioned it. A long huddle by Coach Savers and the rest of the assistant coaches with that City High playing staff. They wanted them to go ahead and buckle back down on this series. As the handoff will go to the deep back, and not much there. Matter of fact, nothing. Dropped for a loss of a couple on the play. Is that Kenny, as he is eaten up by Noah Dreyer. And you can see it right now in the Tigers defense, Jason. Little extra spring in their step.
Well, yeah, when you make a big play like that, obviously that's a big change of momentum. But you know, if you're City High, hey, you got to forget it's 10-7. You know, we've got 2.5 quarters of football to play. So, and really, Cedar Falls hasn't done anything offensively. You know, they got that interception and went down on a short field to score. But other than that, they really haven't done a whole lot. You know, let's march it down the field and get a score here. And heck, there's a lot of football game left.
Andrew Taylor in at tailback now as Phil Kenny will come off. Very dirty uniform, maybe just to get a breather. On play action, Kennedy setting up. All kinds of time to throw. Fires across the middle. The ball's tipped. Is it caught? It is! Reception in and out of the hands of number 9, Nate Stricker. Hauled in by Alex Fisher, the tight end, and that'll be a first down.
Well, that's just a heads-up play there. You know, Kennedy threw into some coverage, and Cedar Falls did a nice job of getting your hand on it, but what a play there by the tight end. Fisher, you know, kept his eye on the ball and made a heck of a play. That's exactly what they needed. They need to keep two on that. If they run that same play again, they had a guy wide open deep on the opposite side.
13 yards on the completion, 1st and 10 from the 38. On the option, Kennedy will keep it around the far side, lowers the shoulder, bowls his way out past the 40, down to the 42. Be a gain of about 4 on the play as the clock continues to run, now under 7 minutes left to go in the first half.
You know, they've ran that option tonight with some success. Don't be surprised if sometime later in the game, Brent, they come back with a reverse off of that. Yeah, Cedar Falls doing such a good job of really flowing over there. They might be able to catch them in some misdirection.
Or as we saw last week on a couple of occasions, that pitch sweep where they had Kenny actually stop and throw downfield.
Throw the ball, that's right.
As he's back to dot the I again after a playoff. 2nd down and 6. Handoff will go to him straight up the gut, lowers his shoulder, bowls his way forward. Not much there. Give him maybe a yard on the play, but that's still going to bring up 3rd and fairly long.
And Cedar Falls really, I mean, they had the 5-man front, and they almost really had 6. They had a defensive back walked up there on the line of scrimmage as well, and just not a lot of room to maneuver in there.
Give him 1 on the play. Grenko will bring in a new play for City High. Rocca will head to the sidelines on 3rd and 5 from their own 42. 5:50 left to go in the first half. City with the ball, but trailing Cedar Falls 10-7. Kennedy, straight drop, fires out, complete the Grenko. He's got it in some room inside the 40, down to the 35 before he's pushed out of bounds into really great coverage. I don't want to quite call double coverage. They were playing soft on it, but Kennedy really threaded the needle, and a great fingertip catch by his wide receiver.
And he did a really nice job there because he was under quite a bit of pressure. Number 34, Drew Rose, was coming on the blitz for Cedar Falls. The backs did a nice job of picking up the block, gave him just enough time to throw the ball out there. When he's got time to set up, he's very, very accurate.
Ball down to the 37, 1st and 10. On the option, pitch, far side, goes to Kenny. Works around one man, dodges his way down to the 35, but a side judge on the far side throwing a flag. And Stephen Gray signaling holding. That's almost always in the spot where you'll see it against the offense.
It usually is, and I don't know who they caught there, but you know, you usually do just like a scoop block up front, or trying to, you know, do a reach block up there on that option play, and they must have caught somebody getting a shirt full or a handful of shirt there.
Holding the call, they'll back it up. Just the first penalty of the evening for City High, but at a very inopportune moment.
Yeah, those holding calls on 1st down, they really, you know, those are tough on those option plays. And puts them in a 1st and 20 here. They're going to have to come up with a couple of big plays here and keep this drive alive.
Ball pushed back to the 47-yard line. This will be the 6th play of the drive. Twins to the near side. It's Grenko, Sabres, and now they'll run a new man in the slot. I believe that's Kenny. Kennedy dropping back, getting pressure. Steps up in the pocket. He'll tuck it away and run. Midfield, 45, right into the Cedar Falls bench. That'll be a tough gain of 2.
Yeah. Had some good pressure from the outside by Cedar Falls. He stepped up in the pocket, and I think he would have had time, I think, to set up a little bit longer and look downfield before taking off. I thought he had just a little bit of a pocket there. He maybe could have looked upfield, but nonetheless, good pressure from the outside by the Cedar Falls, and 2nd and 15, 2nd and 16 here.
Give him 4 on the play as he's just inside the 45. 2nd and 16. Clock continues to run. Again, trips to the near side. Kennedy takes a deep drop. Time, looking downfield, fires deep. He's got Grenko wide open inside the 20, the 15, the 10. Touchdown City!
Well, when you give Mr. Kennedy time to throw the football and time for the receivers to run their routes like the offensive line did right there, that is what's going to happen. And give credit to that crew up front of Collins and Ancio and Mueller, Duffy, and Berg. That was the best protection that he's had all night to sit back there and throw that football. You know, and Kennedy needs to buy them a steak dinner this week for that touchdown, because he had all day to sit around and look for an open man.
High snap. The spot is down, though. Nice job by number 11. Ryan Kennedy, the quarterback, also the holder, as Fisher boots it through, and at the 4:36 mark in the first half, .436 left to go in the first half, and a seesaw battle between City High and Cedar Falls. Little Hawks back on top after a 45-yard touchdown completion to Ryan Grenko. Fisher will kick off to Dukeman. He'll take it up the far side, out close to the 20. Don't think he quite gets there, as the City High coverage was very good, very quickly down to catch the speed burner.
Well, now we kind of feel this momentum swing a little bit now. You know, initially it went to Cedar Falls and they were kind of on a roll, and a big play like that's exactly what City needed, and got him pinned down there. Now it's time for you know, this defense has played very, very well tonight, and their job right now is to go out there and let's stop them, and hey, let's get the ball back. There's 4.5 minutes left, and try and get down there and get a score. 1st
and 10 from their own 19 with 4:24 left to go in the first half. Nelson on play action, dropping back. He'll go for the home run ball, going for Dukeman, and it's almost picked off by Rocca. The ball was overthrown by about a good 5 yards. Rocca was up, but just couldn't keep control of it on his way down.
Well, good coverage by both Rocca and Knight there, and good push up front. It looked like they only had a 4-man rush going right there, because Cedar Falls spread the ball out a little bit. And very, very good coverage. Cedar Falls trying to stretch the field, get downfield, and open things up a little bit. Boy, both these quarterbacks, too, have got very good arms. They can throw that ball.
2nd down and 10. The handoff will go to Manfull, trying to sweep around the near side. He's caught by Collins, the end, and he drops him before he can bust it around and make the big gain.
He just ran him down from the backside. And I didn't see if they pulled a guard or tackle there, but lots of times in a team that's pulling guards and tackles a lot, you can tilt that backside defensive tackle or tilt that backside defensive end. And if they can just get in the hip pocket of that guard or tackle, they can run that down from the backside. I think that's probably what happened right there.
Loss of 3 on the play makes it 3rd down and 13. As I look at where Keppel, they're really lining the near side end up very wide for City High. Dropping back, the screen is on. And slipping, and the ball, does it hit the turf? Certainly Rose does, the fullback. He saw a big gain in front of him, and it will be an incomplete pass, and that's probably just as well for Cedar Falls.
You know, and I don't know if City High's picking up on it or not. They may be, but Cedar Falls, their linemen sit very, very light when it's going to be a pass. And I think that was pretty obviously a passing down, but it seems to me that the right side of Cedar Falls line is kind of giving away whether it's a run or pass. And if you can start picking up on keys like that, that will make it much easier, obviously, to play defense.
Rose to punt from just in front of his own end zone. A low line drive. Mullenbrook steps back and fields it at the 45. Sidesteps one man, cannot sidestep a second as he's dropped just shy of midfield. Number 27, Josh Anderson, with a nice open field tackle. About 5 yards on the return. And City will take over on with 3:21 left to go in the first half. 1st and 10 from their own 48. (14-10) our score. Little Hawks looking to add more.
There's that trip set again. You know, I'm not sure we saw that set at all last week.
Here comes the screen, the jailbreak. It's complete to Grenko across midfield. The
Yes.
45, the 40, kicks in the Jets. A flag is down as he's inside the 30 and down to the 25. And it looks like this one will be going against City.
Boy, that looked pretty good to me.
It happened right in front of us.
I'm biting my lip. That's all I will say.
A former official with some professional courtesy here.
I'm just biting my lip. That's, boy.
Holding will be the call against City. Bring it back. And we've got a Tiger down on the field at around the 27-yard line. Be run again before this one's over with, don't you?
I might save it here for the fourth quarter or something like that now, but
an illegal block.
They do a nice job blocking the back, I think is what they call it.
Be the call. They'll back it up, I guess, from the spot of the infraction here. So it'll be 1st and 15 from the 45.
Yeah, they go from the spot.
Yep. We have an equipment problem here. City High will call a timeout. I'm not sure if they had the proper personnel on the field or. Back at Bates Field on the campus of City High, 1st and 15 from their own 45 after the illegal block in the back. City High with the ball and the lead, 14-10, looking to add to it. Ball resting on the near hash. Kennedy, pitch sweep to Kenny, trying to turn the far corner, hit in the backfield, and he's dropped at the 41. Taylor Lips, middle linebacker, coming in to put a lick on him.
Boy, Cedar Falls is really, really flowing hard on those sweeps and those options. And City High, they're going to, that coaching staff, they'll pick up on that, and they're going to have to run some sort of bootleg or misdirection back this way. Just keep them a little bit honest, because those last couple plays over there, they have really flown to the ball very well.
City High going the wrong way, losing 4 on that play, make it 2nd down and 20 as the clock continues to run. Twins to the near side, Sabers, Sturgill, and Kenny. Kennedy with a deep drop. All the time in the world to throw. Out, it's complete to Kenny. Inside the 40, the 35, the 30, and pushed out of bounds at about the 25-yard line. Kyle Dukeman, the corner, coming up to save a touchdown. Boy, they continue to run that, and they continue to find the seam right there in between the secondary and linebacker.
They've had some success out of that trip set with Kenny, and you know, I don't remember seeing that last Friday. Maybe they did run a bit. Really what they're kind of running out there is what you call like a layer pass. You have basically 3 options. I'm sure they have the advantage on total yards tonight, and defensively have really been shutting them down.
1st and 10 from the Tiger 26. 2 minutes and 20 seconds left in the first half. One back in the backfield. That will be Tyson Worth, the fullback. Strong side to the left. Kennedy, a quick drop, selling out everybody coming for Cedar Falls, and Kennedy doesn't have a prayer as he's dropped back past the 30 to the 31.
You know, that's too bad because Cedar Falls had 2 guys guarding 3 City High guys out there. City High ran trips right, and they had them split out way right, and Cedar Falls only ran 2 defensive backs over there, so you know, I don't know if that was busted coverage or what it was, but I'd come right back to it and see if they're going to actually play that the way they should.
2nd down. This should be about 15 or 16. They'll say 15.
They're going right back to it. And once again, Cedar Falls only has 2 guys out there going right back to it.
Kennedy drops back, fires into the far side. It's complete to Grenko inside the 25. Pushed out of bounds. We'll wait and see what type of spot he gets as he down close to the 15.
It's first down.
Tiptoed the sidelines just around the first down marker, and the chains will move.
And until Cedar Falls decides that they want to slide a linebacker out there or roll over a safety or something, keep running trips to that side, because and I'm not sure what Cedar Falls is doing there. I mean, you obviously can't cover 3 guys with 2 guys out there. They've got to roll somebody out there. They've got to get a linebacker out there or roll a free safety over or something.
First and 10, ball rests at the 14. City breaks the huddle. Out of the eye, it will be Kenny to dot it. Worth is the fullback. And we've got a
game.
Yep, a little too much time, it appears. City High didn't get the snap off. And that's just lack of execution right there.
Well, and that could be on the coaches a little bit too. I mean, you got to get the play in there. And you know, one thing in these situations too, it's not a bad idea if you've got an assistant coach, that something we used to do in these situations just a little bit is maybe have an assistant coach on a clock with the official, and if you're getting close and you're not getting up that line of scrimmage, maybe you can get a timeout called. But they've had to overcome penalties this whole drive so far.
First and 15 from the 19. Rocca and Grenko wide to the near side as Kennedy will take a straight drop. City does a good job of picking up a blitz. Kennedy will tuck it away and run inside the 20, down to the 17.
Well, I thought he had a seam there just for a minute. Somebody made a heck of a tackle there.
Like it was Ball. Tony Ball, number 61, to wrap him up.
That hole closed in a hurry.
Clock continues to run here, though, too, with 1:19 left to go.
Well, they're down here in field goal range now, too.
Kennedy will drop back on
Just got him.
second down, fires out in the flat, complete to Kenny. Cuts it back against the grain, inside the 20, the 15, working his way down close to the 10. City got one more timeout left. They do, don't they?
Yeah.
Clock continues to run now under a minute.
I think they want to save it here in case they don't get the first down. The clock will die in a first down.
9 yards on
Plenty
the
of
play.
time here to.
3rd and 6, 44 seconds and counting. Ball rests at the 10. Two-step drop, just quick out into Grenko's hands. Was that a lateral or was that an incomplete
No, they
pass?
called that one incomplete.
Heads up move to cover it, and that will stop the clock with 33 and 8/10 seconds left.
I think you're going to try and kick a field goal here. This could be is he a right-footed kicker?
Yes.
Just to try and hook it across his body here a little bit. This is going to be a tough field goal. He's going from the right hash almost. He's got to come across his body and kick it through the uprights. So this is no just gimme chip shot here.
Kennedy, a good holder. Snap is there, hold is down, kick is up, plenty of height, plenty of distance, but it's wide right. You mentioned it, had to bring it back across his body, and he just couldn't do it enough.
Well, I think that City was trying to get that ball centered up a little there by running that dump pass out there, and even if he picked up a couple yards, would have been a much.
So make it 1st and 10 from their own 20 with just over 30 seconds left to go in the first half. The handoff will go to Rose across the 25, cuts it back toward the near sideline, dropped just shy of the 30. Greg Altmaier there to stop him. Clock continues to run, and that appears to be, well, no, Cedar Falls going without a huddle.
And City High, they're just playing deep, 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 deep. They've got two guys standing back, one guy about 40, 50 yards deep.
Nelson will drop back. He'll go deep down the far sideline, overthrows Dukeman, and the clock will stop with just under 7 seconds left.
You know, if I'm Cedar Falls here too, I don't know if I'm going to be throwing the ball 40 yards out there in the flat. That's one thing's going to happen, that, you know, your odds of getting a touchdown here are slim to none with City High playing 2 or 3 deep.
This is where, as a back, you love to get the ball.
Well, yeah.
You get about a good 10 yards per crack.
Well, and out here, you keep throwing it out to the corner, you get it picked and run back for a touchdown.
This is Little Hawk country.
Doggone it.
7 seconds, the handoff will go to Manful across the 30. And dropped at the 33, and that will be the final play of the first half. Well, it's been a defensive battle. Matter of fact, defense leading to the only touchdown for the 5th-ranked Cedar Falls Tigers. But City High has been resilient. Now wind the clock up, and the buzzer will sound. We are at the end of the first half. 14-10, the hosts with a tentative lead here as both clubs will head to their respective locker rooms.
just lost some lights.
I think the booth next to us
booth
turned it
next
off.
door.
Better view. We could turn them off here too if your eyesight could handle it.
I'll keep the lights on with you around here.
Dukeman standing deep at his own 5. Fisher ready to put a foot into it for City High, and the ball blows off the tee. Doesn't look like we've got much wind right now. It is a cool evening though. Temperatures expected to drop down into the mid to low 40s. For venturing outside the climate-controlled comfort of the dome though, Cedar Falls has done a good job of staying within arm's reach. As Fisher approaches the football. High, end over end, and deep. Inside the 5, Dukeman will field it just in front of the goal line. The 10, the 15, behind the wall, cuts it back against the grain, finds a seam, kicks it into a second gear as he's out to the 25, but that's all the farther he'll go. Do we have a flag on the far sideline? We do, and it looks like holding possibly the call against Cedar Falls as the men in stripes are talking things over with the City High captains.
Block in the back.
Block in the back. My partner, of course, not just a former player and coach, but a former official.
I don't talk much about those days.
No, not good days.
No, we had fun. You know, it's a nice way to stay involved in athletics, but
decided to dish out the abuse rather than take it, though,
yeah,
right?
So then I went into coaching, and then I got to yell rather than taking it, you know.
Being so mild-mannered and...
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. As my partner's just bit a hole in his lower lip. Go ahead and fast forward to the here and now. 1st and 10 from their own 10. Handoff, trying to work their way out. Darnell Caston, one of the 3 tailbacks that head coach Pat Mitchell uses on a regular basis, working his way off the right side. Not a whole lot there. Of course, Cedar Falls hasn't had much in the way of rushing in the first half.
No, they haven't. You know, the more I watch this Cody Clayball, the more I'm impressed with this guy. 6'1", 241. He does a really nice job of getting down underneath the pads of the offensive line, and very rarely will you see him getting blown off the ball. Does a nice job of holding his own up there in the line of scrimmage.
Looks like 2 tights here for Cedar Falls. 1 back on play action. Nelson rolling out near side. This is a keeper. The 15. Oh, a vicious shot at the 17. What a stick by number 32. Greg Altmaier, our player profile and linebacker, just came up and laid the best deke leader of the evening.
He can run, he can hit. They flow very, very, very well up front, playing that 4-man front, and guys are just flying everywhere tonight. Looked like he had a lane there, and Altmaier came out of nowhere to make a great, great tackle.
Vicious. 3rd and 3. Ball resting at the 16. Nelson with a 2-step drop. Fires across the middle, ball tipped. It's behind Dukeman. Is that Clayball again? They got a hand on it? Young man is everywhere, and the City High defense has come out fired up to start the second half.
And they're going to get good field position because the Cedar Falls punter has not been real good tonight.
3 and outs, and Rose will stand back inside his own 5 to receive the snap. If you're City, do you come after him here?
Well, I don't know. You're going to get pretty doggone good field position here. I'd probably just set up a return.
Looks like that's what's on. Low line drive kick. 1 hop, Rocca will field it. The 45, the 40. And caught from behind inside the 40 down to the 37-yard line.
Yeah, he's not a very good punter tonight. Well, he's at least not doing a very good job tonight. Kicks it low, not a lot of distance on it. You know, I don't know if I go picking that up off the bounce and getting some positive yardage.
12-yard return down to the Cedar Falls 37. That's where City High will take over. Play action, Kennedy dropping back, firing across the middle. The field just a little slick. Grenko stopped, tried to plant, it gave way, and as a result, he can't get a hold of the football. We've seen that on more than one occasion in the first half. Not a lot of rain this afternoon, Jason, but apparently just enough to make the grass a little greasy.
Yeah, and Cedar Falls got some late pressure there on Kennedy. He had to throw that ball, but he did a smart thing there. It was pretty good coverage. You know, he threw it down towards the feet where only his receiver could catch it. Just couldn't quite come up with it.
We'll bring up 2nd down and 10. City taking their time to break from the huddle. And Cedar Falls will use it to make a defensive substitution on the interior line. Rocca wide to the near side. Sabers the slot. Kennedy with a deep drop. Looking, all kinds of time. Fires across the middle. It is complete, just shy of the 30-yard line. That's Phil Kenny out of the backfield. Pretty decent gain. Still will bring up 3rd down and what appears to be about 4.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see here City run that trips formation again, Brett. And and see if Cedar Falls is going to actually adjust to that this half. I'm sure they had to talk about that at halftime, make a few adjustments, and we'll see if they decide to run it here. Doesn't look like it.
Third play of the drive is 3rd and 4 from the Tiger 31. Twins to the near side. Kennedy again with a deep drop. Rolling out of the pocket near side, getting pressured, and he'll eat the football at the 40-yard line. Number 61, Tony Ball, flew in, and that's just a covered sack right there. He checked off. It appeared to be at least once, if not twice. Nobody was open.
Yeah, and I tell you what, on this series, they've got to shore up the right side of that offensive line right now in pass protection. Brett Denny right now is putting a lot of pressure over there on Kennedy. They've got to get somebody on him, and they've got to shore that up a little bit tonight.
And Cedar Falls may be forced to burn a timeout. Are they going to get everybody off the field in time? They're not, and they will be forced to take one early here at the 9:01 mark in the 3rd quarter.
And remember that.
You've come to expect.
Is that correct?
What's that?
You put a sack in a passing statistic.
Air conditioning, because only the rich can afford poor heat.
DP Iman standing back across midfield for Iowa City High. The young junior is set to boot it away. 3 and out for City. Standing deep, Kyle Dukeman at his own 10 for Cedar Falls. Long count, high snap, they're coming after him, and he just does get it away. It's partially blocked. It will take a City roll, though, inside the 20, down close to the 15, and it crosses out of bounds. That's where it will be spotted.
Boy, that could have been a disaster there. It looked like Brett Denny came through there, and looks like he really did get a hand on it, I think. I think he tipped that. And all in all, I guess it didn't work out too bad for City. They got him pinned down here on the 15. Right now, neither team able to get much going.
Well, we really saw this in the first half, though, as well. Not too far removed from the first 2 quarters. City the more effective of the 2 teams offensively, but
both these defenses doing a nice job flying around that.
Yep. 1st and 10 from their own 15. Strong side. We got double tights again. One back. Manful gets the call straight up the gut. Works his way out close to the 20. He'll be brought down shy of it, though. Greg Altmaier, again, those linebackers flying the football. Ball will be spotted at the 17. Gain of 2.
City can hold him here, try and get a 3 and out. City did a nice job of controlling field position in the first half, and in a close game like that, that's going to be a big part of it. Try and get him in a 3 and out and get good field position here.
Nelson rolling out on the far side, another quarterback keeper, strung out, nice job, runs into his own lineman, pushes him forward, and if he's lucky, back to the original line of scrimmage.
I didn't see which cornerback that was out there.
Tony Sturgill.
Was that Sturgill, number 15?
Yep.
He did a really nice job of forcing the action there back to the inside, keeping it to a very, very short gainer. That's just how you coach it. Did a really nice job.
Gain of 1 on the play. Brings up 3rd down and 7. And our thanks to Bob Dane up at the video booth for City High, doing a great job of zooming in on some special coverage in our booth here. We've got video this evening, gentlemen.
I know, it's nice.
3rd and 7 on play action. Nelson getting pressured, fires across the middle. It's complete, just shy of the 30-yard line. And is that his tight end? Number 49, Noah Dreyer. And it is. Just kind of running a drag route across the middle there, but good pressure.
Yep, little boot action. He did a really nice job of throwing off his back foot there, kind of across his body, and put it right on the money.
It's enough to move the chains, 11 yards. Make it 1st and 10 from the 30.
We've got to hustle up here just a little bit. It's going to be pretty close. Well, now he's winding it. I don't know what they were waiting for there.
Strong side, looks like it will be to the right. Nelson drops back. Going deep downfield, he's got a man open. Picked up by Rocca! Broke right in front of Dukeman at the last second. Plucked it out of midair as he hits the turf. He'll be spotted at the 49, and City High will take over.
Very good coverage. Did a nice job of good timing, catching the ball. Sabres did a really nice job up front. They basically had to double team him there to stop him, and he might have just, the quarterback might have taken his eye off just for a split second with Sabres crashing through there, and threw that ball really into pretty doggone good coverage. A nice play there by Rocket.
It really was. Late break on the ball and perfect timing. Ball will be spotted at the Iowa City High 48. Handoff will go to Kenny. Right side, hurdles one man, lowers the shoulder and bullies his way out close to the Cedar Falls 45.
That looked like the play we saw in the first half. Sabres comes, kicks out the defensive end, try and block down up front and lead with that fullback. And they've had some pretty good success with that. They're getting 3 or 4 yards a pop every time they've run that tonight.
5 on that play, makes it second down and 5. Ball sits at the Cedar Falls, we'll call it the 46, halfway between the 46 and 47. City breaks the huddle. Grenko will be wide to the near side. Sturgill will be the slot man. Worth and Kinney will dot the I in the backfield. They'll send Sturgill in motion. On a pitch, bootleg rolling out. Kennedy doesn't have anything. He'll tuck it away and run. Did he lose his shoe at midfield? He works his way out inside the 45 down to the 44. And that is Kennedy's left shoe laying at the 50.
Number 61, Tony Ball from Cedar Falls, did a really nice job there. That basically they tried to run that same action they ran.
Both teams have touched the ball twice here in the second half. Neither has scored. City High maintaining a 14-10 lead. Strong side to the right. Pitch will go to the far side. Kenny sets up to throw. Fires downfield. Complete to Sturgill at the 30-yard line and falls forward to the 29. Almost broke a jersey tackle. Kenny appears to be, I'm not sure if he took a shot or if he's just cramping up.
No, he took a shot.
He will come off as Taylor will come in. We talked about that play, though, in the first half, Jason. We saw it twice last week against Cedar Rapids Kennedy. It worked there.
Yeah, and like we talked about in the first half, those are the plays you save for big situations, and a 3rd and 4 there is obviously a big time down, and that's a perfect time to pull it out. But they've done a nice job setting that play up throughout the ball game.
1st and 10 from the 30 on play action. Kennedy dropping back, firing out. A nice sliding catch from his knees at the 25, hauled in by Rocca. Gain of 5. And we've seen something tonight that we saw last week, and probably we will continue over the course of the season. But Jason, City High happy to throw for 5 as well as run for 5.
Well, yeah, if they're going to give it to you, you might as well take it. Kennedy does a really nice job throwing the football, and I'm a little anxious. I'm surprised we haven't seen that trip set yet, but I guess they really haven't needed it. That might be something they bring out here a little bit later.
Ball sits at the 25, under 5 minutes now left to go in quarter number 3. City on the move, looking to add to a 14-10 lead. And we have movement in the City High backfield.
Yeah, I think they caught 68, the left guard. Just moved there. There was a little confusion there initially. They didn't know which side to line up on. And well, and that was the story of the first half. They had themselves down there in the red zone a couple times, and a delay of game penalty, and now this. You can't have those when you're down here in the 25-yard line in the red zone.
False start for City High. Stephen, is that the first one this half?
I think that's the first
one. It is
one
just
half,
the first, but again, a drive killer. Deep. Well, we don't want to say a drive killer, but it certainly makes life more difficult.
Well, it makes it a little more difficult, yeah. But they've bailed themselves out a couple times tonight. They bailed themselves on that touchdown they scored down there, and boy, they had a 1st and 20. I think they got themselves out of.
They're in 2nd and 10 right now. Clock continues to run. Again on the fake pitch. Kennedy slips as he drops back, fires across the middle, and a nice job by Todd Holford, the linebacker, to bat the pass away, intended for Michael Sabers down at about the 20. Well, that turf just looks like it's continuing to give the players fits. Can't really
Kennedy,
plant.
Yeah, he was kind of dropping back there in that area where there's not a whole lot of grass. And
maybe they'll have to make a phone call to Tim Dwight and see if they can't just returf this place.
Yeah, there you go.
Next year, maybe.
Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. Obviously the field gets a lot of play on. It doesn't look too bad here.
Dwight has done a great job of giving back.
Yeah, he's been really good about that.
Talk to anybody. 3rd down and 10. Kennedy dropping back, fires across the middle, just over Rocca's head. He was open inside the 20. It would have been a 1st down. That's a tough pass to complete.
That is, and he had a lot of pressure coming there from the corners. And it seems to me most of the pressure tonight Cedar Falls is able to put on Kennedy is coming off the outside, coming from a linebacker blitzing off the outside or a defensive end.
I see Alex Fisher on. This would be spotted at the 37, a 47-yard attempt. And in talking with Coach Sabers last weekend on the Coach's Corner, he said, hey, anytime we get inside the 30, why not?
Well, you know, his defense is playing very well, so you might as well.
Snap is down, kick is up. It's got plenty of leg.
Just
wide left. Boy, it had about another 5 yards on it, but he just hooked it to the left of the goalpost. And City turned away. But again, the silver lining here, Jason, in high school ball, this one comes back out to the 20-yard line.
Yeah, I know. That's exactly right. So like you said, you know, nothing lost there. You've got basically a free shot as long as he kicks it into the end zone there. And, you know, you've got Cedar Falls. Your defense is playing well. Cedar Falls pinned down at their own 20-yard line. They've got to go 80 yards, and heck, they don't have 80 yards of total offense in the whole ballgame.
No. 1st and 10 from their own 20. 4:09 left to go here in the third. Nelson barking out the signals. A delayed handoff to Karsten. Nothing doing in the backfield. Takes another wicked shot as he sidestepped one defender. I believe it was Zach Buxton, number 40. Came up, and boy, they just continue to lay the wood.
Like number 53 there for City High did one heck
Collins.
of a job. Collins getting in the backfield.
That is about the toughest 1 yard that Karsten will probably have to gain all year long.
City High doing, you know, they had a 4-man front last series, and now they had a 5-man front in that last one. Now they're coming back out here with a 4-man front, so they're changing things up on them.
2nd and 9. Handoff delayed again, goes to Karsten. Tries to work it around the far side. Nothing doing. Trying to get the number on the young man that pulled him down. Josh Keppel, defensive end, the sophomore.
He did a nice job shucking a block right there, too. Defensive end's done a very nice job tonight of squeezing that line of scrimmage, staying square to the line of scrimmage. And for any young kid out there, that the key on when somebody's coming to trap you, you want to stay in that line of scrimmage, stay square to the line of scrimmage, and force the action. Don't run up the field. And they're doing a really nice job shutting down the counter and trap plays tonight at Cedar Falls. Outstanding job.
3rd and 7 from their own 24. Nelson dropping back. He's got time, firing deep downfield, up and dropped, and we've got a flag thrown back at the 35-yard line. Was going deep for number 45.
I think they've got a...
Or 49, check that. That was his tight end, Noah Dreyer.
This usually is in the defensive holding area. And this is a tough one because he was not even looking over here at this receiver. We'll see what they've got. Yeah,
holding the call against the defense.
Boy. That flag is 30 yards away from where that ball was thrown. But if you're holding the guy out there, you know you can't read the quarterback's mind. Maybe he was going to look over there. And boy, they just let him off the hook there.
They were looking at good field position,
they
especially with
field position. You know, anything Cedar Falls has gotten tonight offensively, nothing against Cedar Falls, they got a great, but give all the credit to City High. The only thing Cedar Falls got tonight is what City High has given them.
And in this case, 1st down.
And if City High, for some reason, would not win this football game, they're going to look back on this and say, geez, we made some foolish mistakes out there.
It's 1st and 10. Ball pushed out to the 33-yard line. The drive continues for Cedar Falls as Nelson drops back, getting pressure. Sidesteps one, now sidesteps another. On the outside, upended out past the 40-yard line, but a flag in the Cedar Falls backfield. And Jason, you mentioned it, maybe a little extra tugging on a defensive jersey.
Well, that was just an absolute clip on City High. And that's going to come back. It's going to be 1st and 25 when this is all said and done.
So what Cedar Falls gets, they give right back.
And Cody Clayball, haven't been able to watch him obviously every play tonight, but sure when the coaches look at the game film of this, he is playing, a very, very good football game at that defensive line position. And if he can keep this up for another quarter, Cedar Falls, he has been in the backfield. Nobody's ever been able to contain him up front. He's 6'1", 241, but he's very, very quick. And he was in there on Nelson before he even had a chance to set up.
1st and 20 from their own 24, and whistles sounding. Boy, a little extra pushing and shoving going on right now.
Let me tell you, I was watching Clayball there, and he just got chop blocked, which
he got double teamed.
Well, he didn't get double teamed. He got hit at the legs and up top. And
false start the call against Cedar Falls.
They give him for a false start, but the officials right now, they saw that, and I think they're going to keep an eye on that. And that's where maybe a little frustration on Cedar Falls' part. They can't control him up front. He's having such a good game. They come out and do something like that. They better be careful. They'll get caught doing that. They're going to get another 15.
Moving the wrong way. The ball inside the 20 now to the 19. And we've got whistles sounding again.
Trying to get the clock wound.
Got to get it going.
There they go.
Now it's underway. 1st and 20.
Now they're coming with a 5-man front here again.
Nelson surveys it, now barks out the signals. 2-step drop, fires out in the flat. It's complete to Dukeman. He's wrapped up by Mullenbrook, and he goes no farther. Maybe a short 4 on that play. Again, what they're just trying to do there is get it to their playmaker, Jason, see if he can't get a few yards after the catch,
yeah,
but Mullenbrook wrapped him up.
Yeah, you try and get it out there, and somebody misses a tackle, but these kids are coached really well, and Mullenbrook made a heck of an open field tackle there.
I look down on the sideline here. Phil Kenny's still stretching on the Iowa City sideline.
Up a little bit.
He's played both ways for the better part of this game. 2nd and 19. Nelson with a straight drop. Had a man on a give and go, and this one picked up on the near sideline. Heading down the sideline is Sturgill, the 20, the 15, the 10, waving his finger over his head. He's in the house. 41 yards, and City High's defense answers the call.
Boy, I think his eyes were as big as quarters there. That ball floated, and it seemed like it hung up there for ever and a day, and he just kind of sat back there and waited on it, and right at the last minute made his break and did a nice job of keeping his feet, almost fell down. And give credit to all the City High defense. They went out there and formed a wall, picked up some good blocks, and that's one heck of a play, and a big break there for City. That's great.
Fisher on to attempt the point after. What do we got going on here?
I think they're
forced to call a timeout. They didn't have all their personnel on the field. They were short a man. Well, give Kennedy credit. He realized it. You don't want to run the risk.
They're going to have a delay a game here. Which, you know what? I think rather than call a timeout, go ahead and take the delay a game. 5 yards
Fisher's leg, that's nothing.
Yeah.
Yep.
You might need that timeout later.
So back him up.
You know, in a small school, you're screaming for a timeout because
Yep.
you don't have a kicker. Usually they can kick the ball.
This is no problem. Ball spotted at the 15. This one is up and more than enough. 1:39 left to go in the 3rd quarter. City High's defense breaks the scoreboard here to start the 2nd half, or at least the 2nd half scoring. 21-10. City High with the lead. 30-second break. We're back with
Ryan Bombach for the KXIT studios in Iowa City with just a quick rundown of some of the updated scores. Tipton 40-0 over Muscatine. We'll have some of this. We have Newton 14-7 over Sioux City North. Regina beat Cardinal Veldon 54-16.
We lost you.
Washington, that's Jefferson. That's 14-0 Washington in the quarter. And just to update you on that, Astros score of the game is now 10-5 Milwaukee.
Yes.
In the top of the 6th inning. Back to Brett Balmanot, Jason Dumont, right here on KXIC.
Thank you very much, Bombach. Ryan.
Go Brewers.
You can tell my partner a Cubs fan. Of course, Chicago washed out this afternoon. They'll play 2 tomorrow with Pittsburgh. Should there be a tie, a 1-game playoff at Wrigley Monday afternoon. 1st and 10 right now for Cedar Falls from their own 16 after a fumble and a quick recovery on the kickoff. They trail it by a score of 21-10 with a $1:23 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Jason, still a lot of football left to be played, but if you're Cedar Falls, you really need to establish something. Even if you don't score, chew up some yardage and some clock on this drive.
Well, you got to start getting the ball down the field, because as of right now, you're not. They have had absolutely no running game to speak of. Start trying to get this ball down the field, maybe run some trip sets, trying to do a few things a little bit different than what they've been doing.
On 2nd and 9, handoff leveled in the backfield. That's Mansell, and he is slow to get up. They'll check it. It's Caston. My goodness, what a shot.
They're both slow to get up. I think that was Clayball again. It was.
And he is down right now.
You know, we talked about that earlier, Brent, in the 1st half, that if you can sneak in behind that guard and tackle, they will take you right to the play. That is exactly what Cody did.
Well-deserved round of applause, and hopefully just got his bell rung.
Yeah, you just got to shake the cobwebs off. Those are fun ones. Snot goes flying. You come up kind of dizzy. That's when you know you're playing football.
Yeah, those are fun when you have no clue what your name is or where you're at, right?
That's when you know you've been in a football game.
That's usually, I had way too many of those when I was playing. They're going to take the lid off of him and just check him out. He's saying, hey, get me back in the game.
Yeah. I suppose it depends on which end of the hit you're on.
True.
The giving or the receiving.
Well, on the receiving end, though, you still tried to get up as quick as possible. You never wanted the guy to think that he'd
you
stuck
don't want
you.
to think he got the best of you. But
I always would try and at least stick out a hand and help a guy up and say, nice hit.
yeah.
Not to necessarily be a smart aleck, but, you know, give him a compliment and let him know, hey, you're going to have to bring in a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
But after a while, you still think about that before you cross paths twice with the same guy the
Well,
next
and
time.
they'll think about that the next time they run that counter play. He's going to be looking behind to see where he's coming from.
Now, Cedar Falls gets nothing on this carry either, and they will allow the clock to run down on 4th and 11. The third quarter expires, and the City High fans on their feet. They are just 12 minutes away from their third victory of the season.
And right now, this defense here is the best I've seen all year. That'll be a heck of a matchup.
Battle for the boot promises to be a good one, but we
bet.
still have 12 minutes left to go on this one. I don't think anybody on the City High coaching staff wants us to put this one away.
Oh, no.
Before the final buzzer sounds. With that said, Rose will stand just in front of his own goal line. A high snap to punt this away, and actually a new punter. As this one a low end-over-ender, fielded by Mullenbrook at midfield. Sidesteps one man, not much there as he's pushed out of bounds at about the 48. Chad Heath, the new punter. Pretty much the same result, though, for Cedar Falls.
Well, Cedar Falls has just been trying to operate out of their own half of the field all night. And City High's just had great field position. I mean, even when Cedar Falls does get something going, they're 80 yards away from the end zone. So, you know, City High, I'm sure they'd like to come out and try and grind this thing out and burn up a lot of clock and just keep Cedar Falls pinned down here, knowing that they've got to get 2 scores, you know, to tie or win the ball game.
Any points right here are big for City High.
Well, any points right here are huge, absolutely.
1st and 10 from the Cedar Falls 47. Busted play as Kennedy went to pitch it, or was it?
No, that was...
Was that a quarterback follow again? They both went the same direction, though. I'm looking at both Taylor and Altmaier, the fullback. They were going on a pitch, and I'm not sure if Kennedy maybe just lost his grip on it and decided rather than make a bad pitch, he'd just turn it upfield and run.
I think it was a called play because it looked to me like the right guard or right tackle there, Phil Ancio, pulled to the left, and I think they were trying to sneak him in behind him and get up the field.
We'll ask Coach Sabers tomorrow morning. That looks like a play, though, that they like, the misdirection.
Yep.
Old Bobby Bowden out of Florida State. Fake the pitch, take off the other way. He did gain 4 on it, 2nd down and 6. Handoff will go to the up back.
Oh, great push.
This one looks like Altmaier as he works his way inside the 40, down to the 36. That'll be a healthy gain of about, what, 7?
Yeah, that would be close. Yeah, there's a 1st down. That's just a great push up front. Nothing fancy there. And right now, that City High offensive line, at least on these last 2 plays, look to be getting a good push up front. And if they can continue to do that, we'll run some time off the clock and really win the battle of field position here.
Give him 8 on the play. It's good enough to move the chains. 1st and 10. Ball resting at the Cedar Falls 36. Kennedy. Hands up. Nope, this is a quarterback keeper again. Kind of a glorified ISO as he works his way inside the 35, down to the 34. Short 2. Will bring up 2nd and roughly 8. Well, I tell you what, they are really giving Kennedy a workout, though. That was his 10th carry of the evening.
Well, they've been running the option and a couple follow plays and a bootleg. And
not exactly Jamel Holloway, but he does get the job done.
Yeah.
Holloway wasn't nearly the passer Kennedy is, even at the college ranks.
Kennedy does have a very good arm. When he has time to set up back there and find his receiver, he's pretty doggone accurate with football.
Misdirection, this one a counter. Rocca will work his way around right side, cuts it up against the grain, works his way across the 30, down to the 27. All right, Sooner fans, yeah, I made the comparison, sure. Holloway was a fantastic athlete. I'm listening to people across to Eastern Iowa now going, What's he talking about? Holloway, a Division I athlete, national champion, and I'm comparing him to a high school quarterback. We're filling.
It's late on Friday, right?
7 yards on the counter to Rocca. Brings up 3rd and a short 3, as we're now under 10 minutes left to go in the ball game. Out of the eye. Handoff will go to Taylor, off of right tackle, stuck at the line of scrimmage, keeps the legs pumping, trying to get down to the 25. Does he have enough? Apparently he does. The officials will give him a good spot. The chain gang will take a few steps over, give him 3 on the play. That's exactly what he needed. And City High's drive continues.
You know, I think right now you'd probably be content just running the ball. Looks like you're getting a good push up front, but now this might not be a bad time right here just to take one shot at the end zone and try and put this thing out of reach.
1st and 10, the ball rests at the Tiger 25. Rocket to the near side, Sabres will be the slot man. Strong side is to the right. On play action, Kennedy getting some pressure, stays in the pocket, fires across the middle, off the shoulder pads of Sabres down at the 10-yard line.
Good coverage right there. Very good coverage off the play action. And we kind of had a bad angle at it up here. I don't know if it hit him or
it looked like it bounced off his shoulder pad. Nick Nelson had him covered very well, but
putting him in a position where kids can at least try and make a play on it.
Now that ball wasn't going to be intercepted. It was Sabres' catch or an incompletion. 2nd down and 10. Handoff goes to the second back. No, on play action, check it. Kennedy still has the ball, fires across the middle, and again, the turf gives way underneath Grenko's feet this time as he slips and can't come back to get the football. Passing down here. Although still in field goal range
get close
for
to field
Alex
range,
Fisher.
you might want to just center that. Well, they're out on that trip set. Look out for the jailbreak.
2-step drop. Now Kennedy will tuck it away and tries to head toward the center of the field as he falls forward across the 25 to the 24. And the field looks like it's starting to get chewed up just a little bit. We're seeing more and more players now slipping every time they try and plant.
You know, and I don't know if you do a field goal here or if you
toward the right just a little bit, but
well, he's not as close as he was in the first half, so he's got a little bit longer field to work with.
Better angle here.
Yep.
Gain of 1 on that last play. The ball will be spotted at the 31. A low snap, but Fisher got plenty of it, and he's wide again. Oh my goodness. Well, you got to wonder. I didn't get a chance to see. Did the spot get down though?
Yeah, it got down pretty good.
It came off his foot with kind of a dull.
Defense is playing well, and they got to go 80 yards, and clock's working for you right now.
Tigers will take over on their own 20. Nelson fires out on the flat. It is complete. Wide receiver, I believe that's Trent Payne, number 87. Hustles to get over and out of bounds. Healthy gain on the play, but not quite enough for a first down, or is it? Yep, they will say move it, as they'll spot the ball right at the 30-yard line.
And you know, he was out of bounds. They're running a hurry up offense now. Cedar Falls is, but he was out of bounds, so they've got time to huddle up and call a play.
Nelson with a straight drop, looking right side, getting some pressure. Now rolls out near side, flips it downfield off the fingertips of his tight end. That is Noah Dreyer. He's had a couple of catches this evening.
City High dropping 7 men into coverage there and rushing.
And number 5 team in the state needs a huge comeback. They're down by 2 scores right now.
City doing a nice job of rotating out there in the twins, getting 3 people out there in coverage.
2nd and 10. Nelson sets up, fires to the far side of the field. It's complete. That looks like Dukeman as he works his way out close to the first down marker. We'll wait and see what type of spot he gets. They'll say move the chains, another 10 yards.
Nice job by the young man of knowing where the chains are, sitting down in the zone. Rather than, anytime you're running against that zone coverage, rather than running through it and into more coverage, sit down in that open zone, and he did a nice job. And
dropping back, we've got whistles and flags, though, and it looks like we'll have a false start against Cedar Falls. 12 official yards on that last completion to Dukeman, but this one will back him up 5. This has just been a blue-collar effort tonight by City High. Figure in the missed field goals, but they have just simply worn down a high-powered offense tonight.
You know, we thought maybe Kennedy wasn't that good last Friday, but they played Prairie off their feet tonight, and I think this City High defense is just that good right now. They're playing very, very well.
Nelson fires down around midfield, near sideline, incomplete to Dukeman. Sturgill on the coverage, and we've got a flag back at the 42.
What do we got? Defensive holding.
I was going to say, it's a little bit farther off the line of scrimmage. Yep, defensive holding will be the call again.
Well, in high school football, there is no 5-yard zone. And I remember, you know, when I officiated, there were a lot of coaches who did not understand.
Come up and check somebody.
I think you should, and I think they should have the uncatchable ball rule in high school. You know, I think it's ridiculous. You can call pass interference and the ball's 15 yards away.
Pitch to the far side. This will be A.J. Manfull trying to sweep around left end.
And I think most officiating crews let it go a little bit, just from the simple fact that if it's a run play or a sweep play your way, you don't know that as a defensive back as soon as that ball is snapped. So you've got to be able to come out and make some contact and protect yourself defensively.
4 yards on the carry by Manfull will bring up 2nd down and 1 as Nelson fires across midfield inside the 40, and it's complete to Dukeman, who's dropped at the 36.
Same play that they ran earlier over to this side, just setting down in the zone coverage. Nelson doing a great job of throwing the football. City might want to try and come with a blitz here or try and put some pressure on him from the corner. He's got, if you give him a lot of time down there, these receivers do a pretty good job of sitting down in that zone.
12 yards on the catch, 1st and 10 from the City High 36. This one a home run ball deep down the near side. Holford goes up and makes a tremendous catch, or is he out of bounds? The officials conferring inside the 10, and they'll say he caught it and had possession before he crossed crossed the end line.
He was out of.
Well, he also went up and pushed off the defense. Was that Rocker or Sturgill that was over there with him?
If they're both going for the ball, I think they're going to let that go. But, well, and in high school, you only have to have 1 foot down.
True. The question was, did he have possession of it, I think.
I don't know. The officials talked about it. They looked at each other, and they both thought he did.
27 yards on the completion. Nelson drops back, fires again to his big tight end. He cannot hang on in the end zone. That'll bring up 2nd down and goal from the City High 8.
You know, I think you gotta ride the horse that brought you here, and I think you got to try and get some pressure on Nelson right here. He sits back there and throws that football. He's got a pretty good arm and can pick you apart. Try and force the action here. You want to make sure you continue playing to win, not playing not to lose. And with 6:44 on the clock here, this is a big down here.
You
for,
bet, yes.
City.
Cedar Falls. Both teams break their respective huddles. 6:44 left to go in this ball game. City High 21, Cedar Falls 10, but the Tigers on the move. 2nd and goal from the Little Hawk 8-yard line. Nelson rolling out to the far side. This is a quarterback keeper. He's strung out, and Sturgill will roll him up and doesn't quite bring him down, but he stops him long enough for the rest of the cavalry to arrive. And that may be a loss of a yard on the play. I'm not sure he got back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. The clock, they've had some issues with getting that clock going, and the clock stopped right there on that play over there, and looks like it cost City maybe 4 or 5 seconds.
Well, they're going to say he picked up a couple. Make it 3rd and goal from the City 7. Nelson, 2-step drop, fires across the middle, overthrows Dukeman.
That's a good no call by the officials right there.
Dukeman lobbying for a flag, but he is not going to get one.
That's a good call. You know, in high school, there's no non-catchable ball rule, but a good officiating crew, if there's a little bit of contact and that ball's overthrown like that, will just let that go. The last thing you want to do is give them a 1st down here in a ball that was not thrown very well. Very, very good job by the crew there.
Big down for both clubs. 4th and goal from the Little Hawks 7. Dukeman wide to the far side, Payne wide to the near side. The strong side will be to the right. The slot will be to the left. Nelson with a straight drop, getting pressure, fires and overthrows Dukeman in the end zone. And the Tigers turn the ball over on downs.
Absolutely huge for the City High defense. Most yards they've given up all night on a drive. Nelson did a really nice job of picking apart that zone coverage all the way out of nowhere and made a play.
Little Hawks looking to run out the final 6 minutes and 4 seconds, and with it, obtain their 3rd victory of the season. First and 10 from their own 7. And Cedar Falls right now looking like they're bringing everything but the kitchen sink. Taylor gets the call off the right side. Some contact at the line of scrimmage. Works his way out, though, close to the 10. Short gain, a little more breathing room.
Well, in Cedar Falls, they've got to try and make a play. So they've got
in the ball game. Morocco will bring the play in from the sideline. Savers is the slot man near side. Kennedy will hand off to Taylor, and he slips as he crosses the 10. Maybe falling forward with that momentum to gain a yard. And it looks like Cedar Falls will burn a timeout. Jason, I'm not sure. I thought they had 2. Yep, they still have 1 left. So again, looking to tune in for another edition of the Coach's Corner. And if I'm not mistaken, I think we're going to have 5 victorious coaches for the 3rd straight week.
Yep.
Congratulations
Regina
going out to Regina. A win
West
tonight.
Branch had the homecoming schedule tonight, which usually is a big victory, and both of them pulled that off. And
Solon was winning big as of last check.
West, and if City can grind this out here and not do anything crazy, it makes your job a little bit more enjoyable.
Oh, much. Much.
Last thing you want to do is go talk to Coach Sabers after a loss or something like that.
Oh, he's
right?
always very gracious.
Very good.
He
yeah.
very much is.
Last thing they want to do is come talk to you.
That's
maybe
basically
after a
it.
loss.
You're absolutely right. Although they don't mind the free breakfast, which is a big hook. Option on a quarterback keeper on 3rd and 8. Safe play just to get DPI in a little more room to punt the football away as Kennedy works his way out close to the 15, and Cedar Falls will now burn their final time out of the game.
And that's good for City because they need to come over and talk about this. They need to get max protection on this punt. And what you tell your punter here?
Ryan Bombach back here in the KXIC studios in Iowa City. Just some scores to update you on right now. 56-6, Solon with the 50-point rule. Solon 56-6 over Cascade. Ended with 1 minute into the 3rd quarter, no less. Mid-Prairie 25-12, 4th quarter over Clear Creek Amana. That's 5 minutes left in that game. Washington 34-0 over Cedar Rapids Jefferson, 34-0 in the 4th. Xavier 17-0 over Linmar. That's in the 4th. Tipton 42-0 over Louisa Muscatine. West Branch number 1, 41-12.
Cedar Falls with excellent field position as they'll take over 1st and 10 from the City High 44-yard line. Nelson dropping back. All the time in the world, but nobody open. He'll scramble near side. Fakes, throws, no he doesn't, as Altmaier cuts his feet out from underneath him and drops him all the way back at the 48.
This guy can play football. He flies around. He's fast. He's a very, very solid open field tackler, and you've got to feel pretty doggone good if you've got Altmaier behind you. He came out of nowhere, flew up there and made a play.
Loss of 5 on the play makes it 2nd and 15. Nelson with a straight drop now. Fires out, far sideline is complete. Is that Dukeman? It is, but again, the footing gives way as he slips and falls.
And they're out of timeouts.
Yep, ball will be spotted here at the 37-yard line, and Jason, he could have easily picked up at least another 5 if he'd kept his feet.
And stopped the clock with a 1st down.
Dropping back to pass, near side, and again slipping and falling, Dukeman. Trying to cut near side, and again, the turf just unforgiving now late in this ball game.
Well, bringing up, is it 4th down already? It is. Maybe come with a little heat here. Bring a corner, bring something in here, and try and force a little bit of action.
4th down and 5. City High's fans on their feet trying to cheer on one more defensive stop. If they can do it, the offense should be able to run out the clock.
The blitz.
They're blitzing. Nelson has the pass batted down by Sabers at the line of scrimmage. The Tigers will turn the ball over on downs, and that may be all she wrote.
I like the call. I like that defensive call, like I said. I think that was a good time to put a little heat on, back your free safety up, don't get beat.
To go in the game.
A couple 1st downs, and this thing's over.
Boy, both teams' defenses have really stepped up big tonight.
I'm just very, very impressed with City High's defense. Very, very, very good.
Quarterback sneak here was almost as if they came up and went on the first sound.
Perfect.
Right behind his big center, Nate Mueller, and he works his way out across the 40. Looks like he'll spot it at the 42.
And get up slow. Get up slow off that pile right now. Don't get any up to the line, and then the quarterback just looks at the coach, and when he waves his hand, then you go ahead and snap the ball, and that's what he's doing right now.
Yep. They're monitoring the clock. Gain of 4 makes it 2nd and 6. Handoff will go to the up back. Is that Altmaier, I believe, number 32. Works his way across the 45 and out close to midfield. Shy of the center stripe, but it looks like he's got more than enough for a first down. As they will umpile.
Snap that ball after about 20 seconds of runoff.
And the chain gang will move.
Make you feel bad.
It's a first down, no doubt about that, though, at the 48-yard line. Clock continues to run now, under 3 minutes left to go in the game. And another sneak as Kennedy will just work his way forward close to the 50.
And City does. They've got a coach on the clock right now. And Kennedy comes up to the line of scrimmage and looks over. And with that trip set, I thought that really threw Cedar Falls out of kilter. We haven't seen that. At least we have not seen that so far this year. And 2 or 3 big plays. 2nd
and 8. They'll run the same play again, just enough to pick up a couple of yards, chew up more clock, as we're now under 2 minutes left to go in the ball game.
Oh,
you have an official whistle here. Somebody hurt.
Oh, I think he's just. I think City's really slow to get off the pile, and he isn't going to let. He's saying you guys got to get up and go. About a minute.
Potential passing down here. We'll wait and see. Instead, Kennedy will hand off to Taylor. Hurdles one man over the left tackle. Works his way down close to the 45, but he will be shy of the first down marker.
And now here you just set tight, take the delay of game, and run a play or back up and punt. So they played. And offensively, you know, they didn't put up huge numbers, but they did what they had to do to win the football game.
They'll snap the football on 4th and 2. Taylor gets the call off the left side, works his way out close to the 40, and he may have the first down. And it appears the City High coaching staff thinks that he does. See what type of spot he gets. They'll put it, at about the 42. Still good enough to go ahead and move the chains.
And that's all she wrote.
Well, for just the 2nd time in 20 years, Cedar Falls has made the trip down to Iowa City for a regular season matchup. They did play a postseason game, I believe, was it back in '86?
You got me.
When was Dwight's senior season?
Oh, that 90.
Was it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
90, 91. Oh, it was actually, it was later than that. It was 92 or 3.
Okay.
It was senior season, yeah.
One snap and a knee. Ryan Kennedy takes it. 20 seconds left, and the City High faithful on their feet.
This is a huge, huge win for this program right now.
Handshakes being exchanged amongst the City High players. 7 seconds and counting, 5. And now both teams from the sidelines will go ahead and meet in the middle of the field. And City High celebrates with a big 21-10 victory over now no longer defeated number 5 Cedar Falls. City High may gain a few top 10 votes from the media this week.
I was just going to say that. Don't be surprised. And can now I say that this sets the stage for
huge battle next weekend. Next Friday night, right back here, undefeated at
what's West?
Number 4.
And they'll probably stay there because I don't think anybody above them got beat.
4-0 West High will come in to take on 3-1 City High.
City High may be in the top 10 because you've got Hempstead got beat pretty handily by West, and then
I doubt Cedar Falls will drop completely out of the top 10.
Probably not.